Good morning, students. Welcome back to chemistry classroom once again. Today I will discuss energy change in a chemical reaction. So look at the book. Knowing that atoms rearrange themselves in a chemical reaction, we can understand that reaction involves the breaking of the reactant molecules and the making of the product molecules. So what is the meaning of that? In case of chemical reaction, basically rearrange their places, because in the first situation the reactant molecules just breaking up and form the product molecules. That's why the atoms only rearrange their places. The energies involved in the two steps are not equal. So in case of when the reactant molecules breaking up and form the product molecules, in those in these two steps, energy requirement is not equal. So the overall reaction either release or absorb energy. So in case of chemical reaction, either energy is released or absorbed. In the most cases, energy is absorbed or given out in the form of heat. However, in many cases, light is also absorbed or given out. So most probably in case of chemical reaction, energy released as a form of heat. Same way, light is also absorbed or given out. A reaction in which heat is absorbed is called an endothermic reaction. Endo means intake. That's why heat is absorbed. Same way, a reaction in which heat is emits, just given out, is called exothermic reaction. So exo means emission, मतलब वो बाहर निकाल रहा है. So in which chemical reaction heat is absorbed, that is the endothermic reaction, and in which chemical reaction heat is evolved, that is known as exothermic reaction. Examples of endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction are few. Some examples are given below. Like nitrogen plus oxygen, electric spark as a form of energy. Electric spark अगर हम लोगों के कॉम्बिनेशन होने के लिए काम में लगवाएंगे तो नॉर्मली नाइट्रिक एसिड फॉर्म होगा, नाइट्रिक ऑक्साइड फॉर्म होगा. सेम वही कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट को अगर 900 डिग्री सेल्सियस में अगर उसको हम हीट देंगे, दैट इज फॉर्म इनटू कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड और क्विक लाइम. Calcium oxide, that is also known as quicklime, plus carbon dioxide. So in endothermic reaction takes place only till the reactants are provided with the required energy. So in case of endothermic reaction, when the reactant parts breaking down or combine together, in this region just energy is intake. The reaction stop moment the energy supply is cut off. जब reaction complete हो जाएगा तो normally हम लोग energy supply stop कर देंगे. Thus nitric oxide is formed when only as long as the electric spark is passed through a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. So basically when we pass electric spark in the mixture of nitrogen and oxygen, then nitric oxide is formed. So if we cut down the electric spark, it is not possible to form nitric oxide. Examples of exothermic reaction. Most chemical reactions are exothermic. Here are few examples like hydrogen plus oxygen. अगर उन दोनों का हम लोग बर्न करेंगे तो नॉर्मली वाटर फॉर्म होगा. कार्बन प्लस ऑक्सीजन बर्न करेंगे तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फॉर्म होगा. हीट भी रिलीज हो रहा है. कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड के साथ अगर हम वाटर मिक्स कर देंगे तो नॉर्मली कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड फॉर्म होगा और उसके साथ हीट रिलीज होता है. सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड प्लस हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड दोनों को मिक्स कर देंगे तो नॉर्मली सोडियम क्लोराइड प्लस वाटर, उसके साथ हीट रिलीज होता है. Experiment. Take about 5 ml of dilute sodium hydroxide solution. So what is the meaning of dilute? Dilute मतलब जितना ml हम सब्सटेंस ले रहे हैं, अगर उसी ml हम लोग उसके साथ पानी ऐड कर लेंगे तो उसको हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? Dilute. So take about 5 ml of dilute sodium hydroxide solution in a test tube and add some volume of dilute hydrochloric acid. So sodium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid. Heat is evolved in the reaction and the test tube becomes warm. तो जब हम लोग सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के साथ हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड मिक्स करेंगे तो नॉर्मली इन दिस रिएक्शन हीट इज इवॉल्व, I mean heat release होता है. That's why the test tube will be warm. Unlike an endothermic reaction, an exothermic reaction once begun always reaches completion. So as much heat is evolved as required for the reaction to go on. Thus, once it starts, burning continues on its own. So normally, unlike an endothermic reaction, exothermic reaction once begun always reaches completion. Normally, in case of endothermic reaction, जब heat intake कर रहा है, वैसे ही जब exothermic reaction होता है, तो normally heat उतना release भी होता है. तो as much heat is evolved as required for the reaction to go on. तो reaction को कंटिन्यू करने के लिए जितना हीट इवॉल्व होना जरूरी है उतना ही इवॉल्व होता है. Characteristic of chemical reaction. Several characteristic changes accompany a chemical reaction. In many cases, you can guess what was happened by the observing these changes. First of all, change in color. A change in the color of the substance generally suggested that a chemical reaction has taken place. Let us look at a few examples. So basically, in case of chemical reaction, color will be changed after formation of the new product. So that indicates the chemical reaction is completed. Like when heated copper bicarbonate, that color is green, turn black due to the formation of copper hydroxide. So जब तक हम लोग कॉपर कार्बोनेट को हीट देंगे, वो पूरा हीट होने के बाद जो न्यू फॉर्म सब्सटेंस फॉर्म कर रहा है दैट इज कॉपर हाइड्रोक्साइड, उसका कलर ग्रीन से ब्लैक हो जाता है. सो कलर इंडिकेट्स दैट basically the reaction is completed. Look at the reaction. Copper carbonate color is green. हीट दे रहा है तो नॉर्मली क्या हो रहा है, कॉपर हाइड्रोक्साइड कलर ब्लैक हो गया और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज हो रहा है. नेक्स्ट, when dissolved in dilute sulfuric acid, iron nails give a light green solution of iron sulfate. When dissolved in dilute sulfuric acid, iron nails, अगर हम लोग डाइल्यूट सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड के अंदर अगर आयरन नेल्स डुबो देंगे तो नॉर्मली लाइट ग्रीन कलर का सॉल्यूशन ऑफ आयरन सल्फेट दिखाई देगा. आयरन प्लस सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड, आयरन सल्फेट फॉर्म हो रहा है. आयरन का नॉर्मली कलर ग्रे है और सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड का दैट इज नो कलरलेस डाइल्यूट है. और नया प्रोडक्ट जो फॉर्म हो रहा है उसका कलर क्या हो रहा है, लाइट ग्रीन, दैट इज आयरन सल्फेट प्लस हाइड्रोजन गैस रिलीज हो रहा है. स्टूडेंट, I hope all of you have understood whatever discussed today. So for today up to this portion.